30 seconds, Darlene. 30 seconds left. I don't have to prepared today. Thank you. Anyway, okay. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thanks for being with us today. My name is Reverend Deborah Gretton Ganberg, and on behalf of the co-pastors and our Board of Trustees, we welcome you to Colby Memorial Temple for our Sunday service. To begin our service, Ray Carroll will light 3 lights symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit. Thank you, Ray. Please rise now for our opening prayer and remain standing for our first hymn. Infinite intelligence, great spirit. We feel your presence this morning. And we see you opening our ears that we may hear your voice. Opening our minds so that we may receive your wisdom. And opening our hearts so that we may receive your infinite love. For all of this and so much more, we say thank you, Spirit. Amen. Amen. And our first hymn will be led by our vocalist, Jamie Osmond, and it's number 140, Peace Like a River.
We're getting there. There we go.
Just a few technical difficulties here. Please be patient.
I've got peace like a river. Peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. My soul. I've got peace like a river. Peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. My soul. I've got love. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love. I've got love. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy in my soul. I've got joy. I've got joy like a fountain. Oh. Thank you. You may be seated.
Located on the handout in the front cover of your hymnal are our Declaration of Principles. Please join me in reciting its principles together. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule, whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual, and that he makes his own happiness or unhappiness as he obeys or disobeys nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul, here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. The healing prayer is located in the back of your hymnal. Please recite with me the prayer for spiritual healing. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and the power of God. Now, for those of you who would like to receive spiritual healing, please take a seat along the wall and go to the next available healer. And you can have a seat along either side in the blue chairs. While the healers work, the rest of us will join in a guided meditation. And so now just allow yourselves to get comfortable. Maybe removing anything from your laps. And close your eyes and go within. Becoming aware of your breath, breathing in and breathing out. Just noticing the steady, quiet rhythm of your breathing. And letting go of any thoughts that may arise. Just letting them go as a balloon floats gently into the sky. And now visualize yourself taking a walk in the country, in a place of beauty and tranquility. It's a warm summer's day. The sky is so blue with just an occasional fluffy cloud floating high above. The sun's shining brightly. The birds are singing happily. It's just so peaceful here, away from all the busyness of life. You notice your surroundings and the colors so bright and clear. And there's a stream running nearby. And you can hear the water gurgling as it gently flows. The gentle breeze is blowing through the air, and it rustles the leaves on the trees. And there's flowers all around, and you can see the butterflies dancing around them. And so you see a large oak tree nearby, and you sit underneath it for a while and just be in total harmony with your beautiful surroundings. This is a place where you can feel safe and secure and free from all the hustle and bustle of life. And as you look up into the sky, you see what looks like a star, but no ordinary star. For this star not only shines during the day, it shines with all the colors of the rainbow. And as you continue to gaze upon this beautiful star, you realize it's gently drifting down like a feather towards you. And soon it is hovering above your head, and you find yourself being encompassed within this rainbow of colors. And it just feels so peaceful. Just allow the colors to soak into you. Feeling them cleansing and purifying every atom of your being. And soon the rainbow is replaced by a radiant golden glow, which touches your heart, and you are filled with feelings of love and compassion. And within the glow, you see standing right before you a beautiful guide or angel. And you know in your heart that this presence is here to help you in some way. And you begin to realize that you are able to solve problems that had been bothering you for some time now. And that no problem is so large that you can't handle it. Knowing that you have the loving support of your angel or your guide. For this divine presence knows everything there is to know about you and loves you unconditionally in spite of your human struggles. This presence has always been and will always be there, standing beside you to guide you and help you in any way possible. just take a few moments now to be with this presence and take time to thank them for all the blessings you've received in your life and for all the blessings you will continue to receive on your journey. And now, just before your divine helper departs, he or she places a gift before you. A gift that is special just for you and is meaningful to you in some special way. Allow yourself to receive that gift now. And as you express your thanks, your angel or guide now merges back into the rainbow of colors and then back into the star as it floats effortlessly up from where it came. But you can still feel the halo of powerful, loving light surrounding you. And you now know wherever you are and whatever you're doing, this divine presence is always watching over you, protecting you, guiding you, and loving you. And you notice that everything seems so much lighter and brighter now. And you're filled with such a beautiful sense of peace. And you know you can come back to this beautiful, special place anytime to visit with your divine helper. And so breathing in and breathing out, you can once again feel yourself beginning to come back to this space here in Colby Temple. Feeling yourself in your body, your feet on the floor, and just feeling that energy of Mother Earth coming up into your feet, into your legs, all the way up your body, up through your whole body to ground you. And so gently, and with soft eyes, letting yourself come back into this room, fully present, and just knowing in a deep place that you are better for this. And so you are. Welcome back to Colby Temple. If you have received a healing resulting in a correction or an improvement, please complete the yellow card in your hymnal or in the back of the temple and give it to the pastor or mail the card into us. And I'll hold up what the card looks like this yellow card here. You may also put it in the collection plate. And we'd like to thank our healers for sharing their gift of healing this morning. Our healers from this direction over, Reverend Dr. Sheldon Ganberg, Daryl Demerit, and Lori Carter. Thank you all very much for sharing your healing gifts. Now please stand for our next hymn, number 159, Open My Eyes.
Open my eyes that I may see, living the truth thou hast for me. Place in my hands a wonderful key, thou shalt not close and set me free. Silently now I wait for thee, ready, my God, thy will to see. Is with my ears that I may hear voices of truth thou sendest clear, and while the waves don't fall on my ear, everything falls to disappear. Silently now I wait for thee, my God, I will to see. Spirit, my mouth and let me bear. Everywhere. Open my heart, let me prepare. Love with thy children, be shared. Silently now I wait for thee, my God, I will to see. Open my heart, Stacey, you may be seated.
All right, well, now I have the wonderful honor of announcing our speaker for this morning, who is Darlene McCormick. When I asked Darlene how she wanted me to introduce her as our speaker this morning, she said, keep it short and sweet. So she said, just say that she's a certified medium and a certified healer here in Cassadaga Spiritualist Camp. So I told her I would keep her introduction short and sweet. But, however, I must say that kind of intro just does not do Darlene McCormick justice. So I'm going to add a little bit. So I must add that Darlene McCormick is one of the kindest, most positive people I know, for sure. And one of the brightest lights shining here in the camp. So please join me now in giving Darlene McCormick a very warm welcome.
Nobody ever listens to me. Oh, that made me laugh. Good morning, everybody. And it's Happy Grandparents' Day. Yay. The flower tokens that we distributed are forget-me-nots. I find them comforting as so many of my people live in my heart. Now, that particular holiday, National Day, I should say, was signed into being by President Jimmy Carter in 1978. All of us here today aren't grandparents, yet all of us have grandparents. I was fortunate enough to physically know 3 of my 4 grandparents, and they were very much a part of my spiritual journey. This is what this talk is going to be about, spiritual journey. Kind of a continuation on a theme from this week, last week's Lyceum, et cetera, et cetera. So how many grandparents do we have today? Oh, I raised my hand and I'm not one. I do remain hopeful. I hope it brings you joy. In today's changing times, grandparents are often called upon to be the primary caregivers. Rising to that challenge is admirable and very difficult. Now, conversely, September 10th also is sadly National Suicide Awareness Day. That's certainly a dark contrast from Grandparents' Day, and a part of the human experience is found in such contrast. I spent a lot of time in Diane Davis's natural law classes, and contrast, in this case, happy, sad, is woven into the fabrics of her life. I find Colby to be my safe place. All of us here were born into the human experience. We have things in common. It's a parallel. We parallel each other in many different ways. And one of those is we are coming back in with free will and choice. So we all chose to be here today. And I am grateful to share those moments with you. Now, I have not experienced the grandparent joy, as I had said, but I have experienced the sad side of this contrast with the loss of a loved one to suicide. And this is a safe place. And in today's ever emotional times, I was talking to Reverend Judy Cooper before the service. It has been just a wild ride. And that is and will always hold true for anybody's human experience. So I'm going to share a little bit of my human experience. And as always, I hope that if you take anything, just one thing from here, then I will know that we are one, and I like it. So many of you have heard about the 5 stages of grief. Well, they are denial, anger, bargaining, and acceptance. For me, this particular loss put me right into the anger stage, and I stayed there way, way too long. Oftentimes you'll find me repeating things like about emotional baggage, meditation, and the importance of it. I don't always listen. I aspire to listen, not to respond, but to actually listen and hear. I find that if I hear things 3, 4, 5 times, I kind of start to get it. So when you think, oh, she just said that, it's because I'm hoping that I'll get it. And for those of you that are similar to me in trying to understand and always trying to understand, maybe you'll get it in that way. So there I was, a difficult loss, and ticked right off and comfortable being there. And you know, I know that this was a very, very important part of my journey. And I am grateful that at that time I had evolved from I was born into a family, and it was a Catholic religion. For the Catholic Church considers a suicide a sin equal to murder. And that's just a very difficult concept for me. I just can't go there. After this loss, I continued my spiritual journey with renewed passion. I wanted to understand. I wanted answers. I even was demanding answers. I would sit in my spot and just rant and rave. Why? What could I have done? Why didn't I do something? Why didn't I know? Why didn't I know? Saying that out loud, I have to chuckle a bit because, boy, my approach was all wrong. I had fallen prey to my false self. So I guess this is a bit of a cautionary tale. I took comfort here in Casadega, taking classes, attending Lyceum and church as often as I could. And I was comfortable with the knowledge that energy continues, and I was learning to communicate more clearly with infinite spirit source and my soul, my God part. It's our best part. Meditation during that time was really difficult for myself. My little monkey mind just wouldn't quiet. Why? I was bordering on being a whiner. It's not a good look. I found myself at peace when I was doing repetitive household chores, so I went with that. I segued back into guided meditation, ultimately finding enough quiet to go within. I found the quiet that comes between the breath, right here in Colby, one fine Sunday morning in my safe place. Our very own Reverend Deborah Breton Ganberg was chairing that day, and I was in the audience, and her meditation resonated with me completely. I heard the voice of my soul. of my God, who had been trying so hard to help me for months and months. And tears started to stream down my face. And I heard, it's not for you to understand the actions of others, darling Mary. You cannot change another's course of action. Do not assume their life lesson. Be the light. Let your light shine out to others and release your useless anger. And those tears flowed freely while Dr. T, many of you remember Dr. T, he sat beside me, quietly and occasionally patting. I do have to say, as it was going on longer than he ever thought it would, he started to pat like this. And he was discreetly supplying me with tissues. It wasn't a sob fest, my friends. It was a release. And suddenly, I wasn't alone. I processed that grief, and I found myself back on the path. And I thank you, Deborah, for your part in that process. I was walking on sunshine when I left Colby that day, walking on sunshine. Now, since that time, I stayed the course, became certified here in my beloved Casadega. Many of the readings that I am gifted with these days actually involve folks who have had a difficult loss of a loved one. Now, all losses are difficult. Those that we think we could have or should have altered in some way, those are the losses that I'm talking about. And I find my journey is very helpful in that area for these people who sit in the chair across from me. Because as that soul comes to me and through me, the message to those who are left behind is very similar. And it's the one that I heard that day here. It is not for you to understand, and nothing you did could have stopped it, and nothing you did caused it. So hear that and feel that. This crosses, and I'll get to that in a minute, with caregiving as well. You couldn't have stopped it. You didn't cause it. Each soul that comes through wants the same for those remaining in the human experience. Each one of them wants you to love and be loved. They want forgiven, and they want you to forgive yourself and love yourself with joy so you can help others to be joyous. And that brings me to finding balance in your life. After that day in Colby, it was certainly top of mind. Boy, I could chase time. Anytime anything bothered me, I just tamped it right down in there, put on that little smile, that little inane giggle that sometimes I do when I'm nervous. It works for me. So how many of you feel the stressors of life as though you're an ant under the lawnmower? It gets awfully noisy underneath that lawnmower, and the distractions, geez, as we say when I was younger and Catholic, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. So most of us do have that feeling at some time. I started to notice that when I had a challenge or a loss of a loved one, as I said, I will be a repeater, busied up and tamped it down, and all those accompanying emotions to process on the other day. Now, you just heard my little story. How's that working for me? Process it as it comes, tamping it down. And it sounds so easy. I could say it, and it's so easy. I just had an incident this past week, and I tamped that thing right down. It'll come back to get me. The truth was, and is sometimes that day where you take it up and look at it, it never comes. Certainly for me, I was determined to bulldoze my way through life, letting my false self, my ego, take the lead. When you're off your path, that's where I go, bulldozing through life. When I'm on the path and swimming downstream, going with the flow, that's my truly joyous days. I found that finding personal balance in a seemingly unbalanced world meant for me just going within to listen to Source, my God. Our peoples and situations are widely varied. Children, young adults, mothers, fathers, working folks, retirees, and we're from many cultures and walks of life. Balance wasn't something I could simply find. I believe that balance is a thing that you create. You find the balance between true self and false self, and you start leaning more to true self where your balance lives. That little place between two breasts. What we all have in common is the light within us. Call it what you will, source, soul, infinite intelligence, God. The label doesn't matter. We do like to label human beings. We have to label everything. We have to call it something, and we always want to understand. So how do we remember the light in a world where stress has become a way of life? Hit pause. Hit pause when you're feeling just a little on the crazy edge. Please do, because the universe will just slap you silly if you don't just stop, listen, and learn. We are here to evolve. And if we are paying any attention at all, we will take that moment for us to go quiet and still. And back to meditation. Does anybody ever get tired of hearing meditation? That's where we go inside, where all the answers are. As I said, I tend to repeat. And in my speaking series, I'll go 3 times repeating, and then I promise I'll have a whole new platitude to give to you next time I have this opportunity. So who takes a run at meditation while thinking I can't do this? Who has a regular practice? I know a lot of us here do. We are on that same path. How many thought or did used to think, but they just didn't know how? That was me. We have many classes here, and a whole lot of them touch on meditation, and this is what I found out. Different approaches for different folks. Currently, I do a short yoga session. At the end of it, I sit quietly, say my prayers, and I listen, and I listen. What I do believe is taking the time to find out what works for you is a gift you give to yourself. One that will change in your approach throughout your life. And from repetitive tasks to guided meditation, now I have this new thing. I don't know what I'll do next, but I know I'm evolving, and there will be another way that I can become quiet with my own soul. Most say that following the breath is the key. I've come to know that to be true for me. And give it a chance. Get to know your soul. It's been the most worthwhile event in my life. For finding peace allowed me to look at the intuitive abilities I have and gain faith in them. I believe that we all have these abilities at some level, and it's allowing yourself to pick up that emotional baggage, here it comes again, that you have stuffed down for later review that never comes for some. I find that most important. That baggage flavors the reality of every present moment, if you allow it to. Some of you have heard me say my little ditty, the past is calling, don't answer the phone. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes you do have to answer the phone and process, because it's a life lesson that wasn't allowed to complete, as happened to me here several years ago. Looping, thinking about perceived slights, long ago arguments that we need, and the human being, oh my God, we love to be right. We do so love to be right. So when you're picking up an emotional trauma, hold it up to the light, turn it 1/4 of an inch. There'll be seeds of joy in that slimy little thing. Let the sludge dry and let it blow into the wind and let that life lesson complete. Again, forgiving yourself, forgiving others. That does not mean that you're giving anybody a pass. And as I had said before, forgiving yourself, it's a gift. And it's a relief from anger and fear. Remember, fear often uses the face of anger to hide. We don't like to appear fearful and vulnerable. We just don't. There's an awful lot of angry people in this world, you may have noticed. Kind of turn that 1/4 of an inch and look at it in a different light, and I feel that there is a lot of very fearful people in this world today. So being the light, reaching out to that and to these people, it's what we can do, and it's what we do best. It is just a huge gift. Please remember also, I like this one, any decisions you ever made were based on the information you had at that time. In my medium and healer practice, I find that a whole lot of caregivers harbor guilt and regrets. Go easy on yourself, folks. I have had former caregivers sit across from me many times, and their loved ones come through to express their love and appreciation for that service. You each who have had this involvement in caregiving did an amazing thing, and you did the best you could based on the information you had. Agonizing over those decisions will only hold you back and down. Do the inner work, and when you run across guilt and jealousy, pay special attention. Those emotions do not serve you in any capacity. Encouraging your abilities will give you so much joy. Have faith and remember that energy continues, and we are energy that will continue on into the next life as it has for your loved ones who now live in your heart. I'm in my 3rd trimester myself. I've done a lot of inner work, and I certainly have much more to go. You know my mantra, some of you know. Live my life in hope to love, learn with joy to love myself, and evolve to joyously help others to love. I suggest also you embrace change as best you can. Process your fears, encourage those intuitive abilities, and grow and strengthen. Listen to that God part that resides in deep inside you, for it is your best part. And if one fine day you find yourself silently crying, I hope to be the one to sit by you, occasionally patting you and discreetly handing you tissues. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much, Darlene, for that. Pearls of wisdom, lots of pearls of wisdom in that. During our musical interlude, we will be passing the basket, and we ask you in advance for your generosity. Our musical interlude will be presented by Jamie.
I keep fighting voices in my head that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I just a sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Ooh, Lord, but you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. And you say I am strong when I think I'm weak. And you say I am held when I'm falling short. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe the only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. Ooh, Lord, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. And you say I am strong when I think I'm weak. And you say I am held when I'm falling short. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I'm yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you think of me. Oh, I believe. Taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You have every failure, God. You have every victory. Oh, Lord, will you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing? And you say I'm strong when I think I am weak. And you say I am held when I'm falling short. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I'm yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. Oh, I believe, yes, I believe. Oh, I believe what you say of me. Oh, I believe. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for everything. I believe. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Let's give her one more hand. Oh, she always brings me to tears. Oh, we have some announcements. Oh, no, we don't. We have a prayer of gratitude first. Let's take an attitude of prayer. We give thanks for these gifts before us, so generously given. And we see this loving energy going forth to support Casadega and doing its loving healing work in this world, which is so needed. We say thank you, Great Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Now we have announcements. Next Wednesday, September 13th, our message bearers for our Wednesday evening message service are our students. It's Students' Night, so please join us for that. And next Sunday, September 17th, our guest speaker at our 10:30 service is Deborah Jordan. Every Sunday, we have Adult Lyceum, also known as Sunday School, from 9:30 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. in the Andrew Jackson Davis Building, which is our bookstore. Next Sunday, September 17th, our Lyceum speaker is Reverend Diane Davis. Now, announcements of upcoming events. This afternoon, Lori Carter is doing a workshop on animal totems in the Andrew Jackson Davis Building from 2 to 4 p.m. And next Saturday, September 16th, Reverend Diane Davis will be doing another natural law workshop in her natural law series from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. in the Andrew Jackson Davis Building, and that's on Saturday, next Saturday. And please see our monthly activities calendar for other upcoming workshops and events. And to participate in absentee healing, please print the name and the first initial of the last name of a loved one, friend, or even a pet in our healing book at the left-hand corner of Colby Temple. It's right in that corner, right back there. We have a healing list. Flyers for camp activities are in the back of the temple, and they're also in your hymnal. Everybody has these in your hymnal. Tells you what classes we're having, what events we're having. And also you can go on our website, casadega.org, and that has the monthly information as well of all the upcoming events. But please feel free to take some of these. They're in the back as well if you want to give them to a friend or a neighbor. Please stand right now for our next hymn, This Little Light of Mine. Number, I didn't write the number down. 179.
You're welcome. This little light of mine, this little light, how it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, it shine, it shine. Everywhere, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, 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 shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, shine, let it shine. Before you guys sit down, I want to do the first verse, just the voices and the tambourine. Ready? Got to do the tambourine. Okay. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light. Y'all, you got this. I love to hear your voices. Thank you. You may be seated.
Good shining, everybody. Good shining. And now for the message portion of our service, we have your message bearer, and that would be Darlene McCormick again. So we will bring her up. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Well, I could use a portable, but I think I'm just gonna hang on because it's been a heck of a day. Oh. May I come to the woman with the red hair and the multicolored? No, the one who just looked around? Yes. Oh, stepping into your vibration. Oh, you just do have a joyous bent to you. And that being said, There's a gentleman that steps in very strongly. I feel like his love is just so strong. I feel like this is a significant other that is on the other side. Not an especially tall person, but he had some good posture and a very bizarre sense of humor. Of the eat, work, sleep generation, eat, work, sleep, eat, work, sleep. Oftentimes, he was so busy making do and doing, sometimes he says he forgot to just enjoy life. And you were the person that he would turn to for the joy in life. And you brought him great joy. You have done a heck of a job. When he was leaving, and it was difficult, it was a difficult time. He was just so afraid you wouldn't do, because he was always in charge of, he thought, in finances. Well, what he's here to say right now is he knows he really was not in charge of a dang thing. It was you. and he gives you credit for, as he says, putting up with me. And of course he's fine, and of course he loves you. You've been worrying too much lately. There's been an awful lot that's been preying on your mind. Consider that it's a phase, a stage, and that is starting to lighten up for you. Let some of these things that have been bothering you fly free. Stop listening to some of the people that are shooting you to death. They are just, you should do this, you should do that. You know what you want to do, and you're just having a brief moment in time here in this journey where you're not able to communicate because you just want to tell them to just buzz off and leave you be. Tell them to buzz, baby. Do what you do, and I'll just leave that with light and love. All righty. May I come to the woman who just released a whole bunch of emotion? Yeah, I think that you noticed that. Stepping up and into your vibration. That particular process was an incredibly personal thing, and this is a different type of venue. So I'm not going to go into too much on the details on that side. However, I wish I would have been sitting beside you, but your friend certainly did a very good job of the smile pat and everyone around you. And I'm very glad and thankful that you were able to process a lot of this. The person that is stepping in from the other side is just fine. And everything that you did, and I don't want to reiterate what I said in the talk, stand tall and stand proud, be valuable. He's saying, wouldn't hurt you to clean out the closets. I don't know where this stuff comes from. But that's what he's saying. And get rid of that stuff that, it's not helping anybody. Get rid of it. Maybe somebody else can use it. But he's just laughing because, boy, what a bizarre sense of humor that person had as well. And again, with that buzz off thing, clean them if you want, darling. Clean them if you want. And I'll just leave that one just with love and light. Thank you so much for being here. All righty. Oh, may I come to is that a striped shirt you have on? What's your first name? Oh, you have a little serious bent to you sometimes. There's a woman that's stepping forward. She's a maternal energy, mother, grandmother, but my sense I'm placing her as a grandmother, and because of the just latent pride that she has for you. The path that you have chosen through here, and to where you are now, there's been a lot of difficulties, a lot of stuff along that way. And oh, Trina, oh, you just compartmentalized that stuff and just bulldozed your way right over it. You're like a crusher. You're starting to turn and go more with the flow. And it has worked a little bit better, but it's still, it's a little bit difficult for you to release some of that I have to be in control thing. And you are in free will and choice. Never forget that we have that free will and choice, and you exercise that free will very freely. Does that make sense? Just give what you get. This is your time, and just know that it is your time. Some of the things that you've been working on right now, and you've been kind of agonizing over them, stop that overthinking on it, and go listen with the ear of your heart and go with that, because you know what you're going to do anyhow. And all the people that should you, actually, you don't have a whole lot of people these days that should you that much, because you will shut that down when somebody's getting on your nerves. If it pops into your mind, it's coming out. Your grandmother, but she's not really rude. I think sometimes you think maybe you are a little rude. She's telling you that you're not. So stay that course, stay on that path. And I'm just going to leave that with light and love. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for those wonderful messages, Darlene. We would like to remind everyone that we will have our afternoon message service at 12 o'clock here, 12 to 12:30 in Colby Temple. A group of mediums and student mediums will be giving spirit greetings to as many individuals as they can reach during that time, and everyone is welcome. We encourage you to visit our bookstore, which is open from 11:30 to 5 p.m. today, and open Monday through Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please rise now for our closing hymn, number 203, Let There Be Peace on Earth, and remain standing for the closing prayer.
Let there be peace on earth. That's why we're stronger. And
Let us take an attitude of prayer. And this is a Celtic blessing that's one of my favorites. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. And may the rain fall soft upon your field. And until we meet again, may Spirit hold you in the palm of his hand. God bless you all and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
when you said peace on my spirit. Oh, did you hear that? I did. And you it's so soft. What do you do with this one? Bring you tears? I know. He was. I know, she's crying. Although it's funny a little bit, right? Yeah, it's a little.